This is Chris Lee of Southeastern 14, presented by the Bearded Iris Brewing Company, here to recap SEC baseball from Thursday night, May the 18th. Let's start with the game of the night, which took place in Athens, and let's set the stage here. LSU with Paul Skenes gets another Paul Skenes-like performance. He goes 7 innings, gives up 2 runs, both those earned, strikes out 12, walks 1, and that is a typical Paul Skenes performance, but it comes against Georgia, which is a team that really plays well at Foley Field. And so Georgia does what Georgia has done lately, which is make a late charge. Thatcher Hurd on the mound with a 2-run lead in the ninth, and Georgia gets home runs from, I think, Sebastian Murillo, and Ben Anderson to tie the game at 5. And in I think it was the top of the 11th, LSU's got the bases loaded, and Georgia turns in one of the web gems of the year with second baseman Mason LaPlante making a diving play with the bases loaded and flipping to short just in time to get a force. So we go to the 12th, and then LSU's Josh Pearson hits a home run, which ends up being the decider. LSU wins 8-5, and will face Charlie Goldstein for Georgia today on Friday, who's been really good for them. But for LSU, home runs from Dylan Cruz, Hayden Travinsky, Jordan Thompson, and Braden Jobert, in addition to the one that Pearson hit late. Thatcher Hurd goes 5 innings, gives up 2 runs, both those earned. Those both came on those home runs. So really Hurd, after giving up the lead in the 9th inning, settles down and really gives the the Tigers exactly what they needed. Big boost for LSU in the bullpen. For Georgia, boy, that was costly. The Bulldogs now at 10-18 and really need to win 2 if they're going to have any shot at an at-large bid, which would also include a run in Hoover, and that seems at this point to be a very, very remote chance in terms of being able to do both. Okay, in my hometown of Nashville, I got to see part of this one. My son had a game of his own last night, and I was at that, but it did follow it a little bit remotely, then got home to see the last half. By which point, I think the drama was over. Vanderbilt kicked the ball around early in that game. Patrick Riley could not throw strikes. His defense did not help him out. Vanderbilt had 4 errors on Thursday night. Riley goes an inning and 2/3 and allows 5 runs, just one of those earned, walks 6. And not to take away from Arkansas, but Vanderbilt just – the defense and the pitching were the gift that kept on giving for Arkansas. Brady Slavens hit his 9th home run of the year. But I think the bigger story for Arkansas pitching, once again, Arkansas really one of the few teams that can get through games with a minimum of arms, and those arms pitching well. And man, that has been the formula for Arkansas lately, and the Hogs got that again last night. Hagen Smith goes 5 innings, gives up 2 runs, both those earned, strikes out 7, walks 2. Will McEntire in relief gave Arkansas 53 terrific pitches, gives up 1 runner in 4 innings, strikes out 6. The Hogs now in sole possession of the SEC overall lead, which they were coming in, but now 20-8. Vandy at 17-11. Commodores have got to get a win in this series if they're going to feel great about getting a top 8 seed and or hosting. That depends on what teams do around them. But Vanderbilt has really not hit the ball in a month. That fan base is a little bit panicked, and I think has good reason to be. The Commodores, I think, will pitch Devin Futrell on Friday, that their best remaining arm. Remains to be seen if Hunter Owen throws. He's one of their aces. But anyway, Vanderbilt in a heap of trouble, needs to win the game, and Arkansas just keeps on doing what Arkansas has done lately, which is just pitch teams to death and get enough offense. And, oh, by the way, Jared Wegner back last night after a broken thumb, and Peyton Holt, their second baseman, who's filling in for Peyton Stovall. I guess it's no longer filling in because he's done for the year. He has 3 hits, knocks in a run. Anyway, Arkansas, just another game where it's balanced all around. No errors, great pitching, enough hitting to score 8 runs, and the Hogs continue to lead the SEC. Okay, our channel is presented by the Bearded Iris Brewing Company. The Sylvan Supply location is in West Nashville. It is home to Black Dynasty Secret Ramen House. You'll find a wide variety of comforting bowls of meaty and vegan-friendly ramen ramen with house-made noodles alongside rotating weekly features, seasonal sides, salads, and desserts. So check them out again in West Nashville. Give a shout out to our sponsor, the Bearded Irish Brewing Company, and tell them you heard about them on Southeastern 14. Okay, Florida, another team that's been on a heater lately, goes to Lexington and wins a laugher 10-3 on Friday night. The Cats throw Travis Smith, who's been a midweek guy who's pitched sometimes okay on weekends when he's been given the call lately, and sometimes not. Last night, not so much. He gives up 5 runs, all those earned in 5 innings. Kade in relief gives up 3 runs in 2 innings. For Florida, the story, Hurston Waldrep was good for another weekend. Strike throwing has been an issue for him, and that is a big issue against the Cats in that park. So I think if you are Kevin O'Sullivan, you are thrilled to see Hurston Waldrep face this lineup because it was one that could have been a nightmarish matchup for him. It was not. He gives up 3 runs, 2 earned in 6 innings. Ryan Slater, their closer, comes in and was just about immaculate. He gives up 3 hits, but no runs in 3 innings, all of those scoreless. Florida now 41-12 and 19-9, and barring a miracle is going to win the SEC East. The Cats now 15-13 in the SEC. They need to get a win or maybe 2 this weekend if they're going to feel really great about hosting or getting a national seed. For Florida, Kade Curlin hits 2 more doubles. Their fine freshman second baseman, Wyatt Langford, hits 2. Florida is a team that hits a lot of home runs. Kentucky is not a team that gives up a lot, and so that's what you saw last night in Lexington, but Florida just turned into a doubles machine. In addition to that, Rivera had 1 and Riopel had 1, which gives them 6 doubles for the night. Florida pounds out 13 hits and again wins that one 10-3. Alabama, a team making a late charge, and Alabama now at 14-14 in the SEC. That may be the first time the Crimson Tide have been at 500 all year in the league. After beating Ole Miss 4-1, Luke Holman was tremendous last night again. He goes 6 2/3. The freshman bullpen tandem of Cade Woods and Alton Davis II combined to go 2 1/3 innings of scoreless ball to lead Alabama to a win over Ole Miss. The Rebels throw Indianapolis transfer Xavier Rivas, who was okay, gives up 4 runs in 7 innings and gets the loss in that one. Andrew Pinckney for Alabama, their fine right fielder, who's been one of the more underappreciated players in this league for a couple of years now, hits his 15th home run of the season. The Tide now 36-17. And again, that RPI is something to watch because if the conference wins follow, Alabama in position to potentially host. If it can take care of its business, that would need to be sweeping Ole Miss, I would think, and then maybe winning a game or 2 in Hoover. All right, last game was Mississippi State. And my goodness, State lately, that is a team that just does not have much to play for. A bid to Hoover is going to be tough to come by. In fact, I'm not sure if it's still mathematically possible. I think it is. But that was of no concern to Mississippi State on Thursday night. State was down, 6-2 after 4 complete innings. State gets 3 in the 5th, 2 in the 6th, and then 3 in the 9th. Those 3 in the 9th, 2 of them come on an Amani Larry home run to walk off the Aggies. That was his second of the evening. Their transfer second baseman has had a really nice season. For State, the story again, when it goes well, is they get pitching effort from somewhere. And Nate Dom last night gives him a scoreless inning at the end. He did walk a guy. And right before that, Casey Hunt goes 4 2/3, walks 5, but struck out 8, gave up 2 runs. One of those earned. State now still in position to potentially, I think, get a bid to Hoover. Let me look at the records on the bottom of the ticker here. State, if it can take care of business, has a chance to pass Georgia should LSU be able to sweep. But my goodness, A&M in a little bit of trouble this morning. A&M, I think, needs to win the last 2 to feel great about getting into the NCAA tournament. Might be able to do it with 13-17 and a run in Hoover, but the Aggies 12-16. The story again was pitching. Starting pitching was not good, and neither was the bullpen. All right, we're Southeastern 14. We'll be back on Saturday morning to recap games of Friday night. Be sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons, and we'll see you again later.